So I think Nintendo World Championships NES Edition is at its most fun when it's focused on that 8-second core gameplay loop. You select a challenge, it counts down, ready, set, go, you make your attempt, success or failure, you repeat. It reminds me of a combination between trying to be surgically precise in something like Celeste and frantically trying to solve an on-screen puzzle in WarioWare using whatever tools are in immediate view. The speed and rhythm at which you start, attempt, restart, attempt is so easy to get caught up in that psychologically, it's just so easy to fall into this pattern of I could do it with one more attempt. I could shave off time with one more try. And my issue with this game is, as you progress, as you complete levels, the scope of the challenge expands, what they're asking you to do. And it's no longer grab the mushroom or complete this weird specific task. The game instead says, oh, just beat this whole level, beat this whole game. And at that point, what is the game? Nintendo World Championships NES Edition is a collection of moments from classic titles. So when the game becomes less about moments, it's no longer the premise. It's no longer why you were there. If the challenge is beat the first level of this game, you're not playing anything new. You're just emulating an NES game. And I think the game's progression system is such a failure because it's pushing you to get closer and closer to just playing the normal NES game with a timer in the corner. The package, the scaffolding, the circumstances of why you are there fade away. The game then refuses to engage with the question of how do we make these moments more difficult, more rewarding, or more interesting, and instead says, forget about the moments, let's just widen the scope of the challenges. And I can really imagine everyone at this point in the video stopping me here and saying, but Jake, that's what speedrunning is. The game is pushing you to become a speedrunner. And if that's what the game is trying to do, it's not doing that well. The heart of speedrunning is, I think, competition and crowdsourcing tactics and putting it all together to perform quicker and quicker, to be faster than other people. And you know, like, what's crazy? I have, in my own life, I have like a group text with my friends in which every day, every morning, we take a screenshot and compare who did the mini crossword the fastest, who was able to solve the mini crossword in the shortest amount of time. And in a sense, you could say that we are speedrunning the mini crossword. And this is where I want to talk about, again, the loss of purpose as the scope widens. That issue could be ameliorated. You could fix, oh, okay, now that we're losing the moments, what we need to lean into is the competitive aspect, the competition of speedrunning. If the purpose of the game was instead directed into competition and comparison, hey, Jake, we're pushing you towards speedrunning the game. So here is access to the full game. There's a timer in the corner. You can look up your friends' best times, compare them. That will push you to go further, to beat them, and you can even watch their replays to learn what they did, to learn their tactics, deploy them yourself. But the game doesn't give you any of that. The avenues for comparison and competition, that's multiplayer, right? Multiplayer features. The multiplayer offerings in this game are so pathetic and they feel intangible, okay? So like in one mode, you face off against the ghost of other players. Player data that has already played out. And it's like, okay, you're competing against, 8 or 12 of these other ghosts, right? And when I win against this predetermined selection of ghosts, I don't feel like I actually beat anybody. First off, I don't know these people. It could all just be fake. But second off, I only won because the game decided I was going to win. The game gave me ghosts to compete against that I was already going to beat. So I feel like there was no actual competition there. There was nothing, there's nothing tangible. And the other kind of online multiplayer mode is the game says, hey, here's a weekly challenge, and at the end, we will reveal your place in the worldwide leaderboard. So there's no There's no learning. There's no drive to go harder, to climb, because the challenge is already over by the time you see your place in it. The game deploys leaderboards in a way that makes me think they don't understand why anybody wants leaderboards or how they function. And the amount, at the end of the day, the amount that you like Nintendo World Championships NES Edition is entirely dependent on how happy you are to get pushed into just playing these old games again. These old games that Nintendo has time and time again tried to repackage and resell to consumers. And I like to think about, if we're talking about a movie, a book, a television show, a video game, I like to think about the word craft. If craft is the meeting of artistic choice and expectations, player expectations in this circumstance, if I am to judge the craft of this game, all I see here are repackaged ROMs and the ignored context of what players want and expect Nintendo to do with them. So it's a bad game. And the source titles that it is pulling from, being highly regarded games, does not save it in my eyes.